Hey everyone, welcome back. Episode 2 of the Bizwisdom Show. How exciting! So thanks for tuning in. Yesterday, of course, was the big debut show, and I've got to say I wasn't really expecting that anyone would find it or see it, but got a little bit of a thrill that a couple of you. Click the old like buttons and send a little bit of kudos my way. So thank you for that. And here we are in episode 2. So of course I did the purposefully I set the bar high for myself and promised in yesterday's show that I would make an effort to do one of these every single day. So here we are, day 2, and very, very close to failing straight away on that one. I think I've had this day where I pretty much had meetings booked from it's about 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. and I've just finished up. It's about 6:15 now, so I just finished the last meeting, and very, very tempted to go home, but I can't fail so early in the piece. So here I am. Episode 2. I wanted to continue on with the startup theme. I don't know how long I'll run with this, but we're starting this new podcast. In many ways, I feel, I mentioned yesterday my definition of what a startup is, which is, for me, first generation owner. If you're a first generation owner, you're still in a startup. My business, we're 10 years in now, a little bit over 10 years. And I still absolutely feel like a startup. I mean, certainly we've done a lot of things right, and we've our monthly turnover is probably pretty impressive. It certainly would have been impressive to me when I started that business, but these things are very subjective. Yeah, you've always got the next goal, the next goal, the next goal. While this business is certainly more process driven and more established, and we're a business. We've been operating as an established business for many years now. There's still a lot of challenges that we have never actually attempted to solve. And that's my point about a startup business is, you can be in business for, I would imagine, 30, 40 years and still have challenges there that you've never attempted to solve. You can be a very successful business. You can be, you can make a lot of money. You can serve your customers to a really high standard, but you're constantly, if you're growing, and hopefully you are, there's the next challenge and the next challenge and the next challenge and the next challenge. And that's why I feel first generation businesses never fall out of that startup phase. If you're a mega brand that's been around for generations, then presumably, there's some very robust systems and processes there, and a lot of those challenges have been overcome. Although I guess they still need refining, don't they? So anyway, here we are. I'm still in startup mode. This podcast is or a video show. Got to work out what to call it, depending on how you're experiencing this right now. Is me in startup mode. So I thought at least for the next few episodes, I'll keep on the startup topics. And so what I wanted to share today, had I not been in meetings all day, was this concept that I've sort of been mapped. It's something that we use in this agency all the time, but I've never got around to mapping it out in a sort of diagram, and I wanted to map it out, which was I call it channel stepping. So for a new business that's never been advertising driven, you've never had advertising and marketing as the engine room to driving your business. As I mentioned in the last episode, I think a lot of businesses start their journey as referral based and and grow through word of mouth and networking. And then at some point you have to make that step to making advertising and communications as the engine that drives your growth. and there's a very specific set of channels in 2023 as it stands, and a very specific order in which you step through those that makes most sense to most businesses in that. So I wanted to sort of diagram that out and take you through that diagram. Unfortunately, I haven't had the time, so we'll have to leave that to another day. So I thought instead what I'd do is share a recent startup story that that I have actually shared on my other podcast. So if you haven't, go and check out Brandwith. You can go to brandwith.audio or type in Brandwith into your podcast app, not to be confused with another similarly titled podcast series called Brandwith On Demand. We are just Brandwith, tagline, big thinking for small business marketing. So I did talk about that, although that episode hasn't been released yet. So there will at some point be a much longer version of this where my good friend Dean Millson from DeMarca Agency spends some time stepping through sort of similar things from a branding point of view. But I thought I'd share this story in a small way because I think it illustrates a good way of thinking about your business. So basically, a few weeks ago now, a good friend of mine came to me with a new business idea. It was a really cool idea. I don't believe that it was a pretty unique idea, and she was really excited about it. And of course, I can't divulge what the idea was, but it was basically she'd been through an experience of renovating a holiday rental, I think it was, and she'd run into all these challenges, and this product that she's just it's sort of a hybrid product service that she sort of created in her mind solves a lot of these challenges. It was a really, really cool idea. And so, she came to me very seriously. She'd been thinking about it for a long time. I think there'd been a couple of messages going back and forth. And she wanted to sit down and sort of talk about how she could bring this idea to market. And she went through and she listed the idea for the business. She had some very specific questions about certain web platforms that would enable her to do this very custom, allow users to interact with the product and sort of select their own custom things from within this setup. And she maybe spent, 10 or 15 minutes explaining, the idea and how it was going to work and her vision for this website. And it was a big, beautiful, bold idea. It was really, really cool. But yeah, basically, and then she said, what would be the right platform, and what could I, what should I expect to be spending on something like this? And I said, look, to be honest, the website that you've just described to me might cost you, $100,000 to $200,000 to build, maybe even upwards of that. And she didn't flinch. Kudos to her. She didn't flinch at that. She said, yeah, fair enough. I've spoken it over with my husband, and we'd be prepared to invest like $100,000 into this. We think it's a really cool idea. We should do it. We've got some savings in our bank account. Let's go ahead. But then, while she was previous to that, while she was listing all these things, I was just counting in my head, and I said, honestly, what you've just described to me, as cool as an idea as it sounds, I've counted maybe 35 different ways that business idea can fail. And so if you go and you take that $100,000 that you've worked hard to save and put into your bank account, and you put that $100,000 into building this website, this big, beautiful idea, it's going to be highly custom, and it's going to be based on these concepts that you had and your experience and all these kinds of things. And you launch that into the market, and it fails. Which one of those 35 possible ways that this business could fail caused that business to fail? How will you know which way it will be? And the answer, of course, is you'll have no idea. You'll have no idea. You'll spend all this money, a lot of time, and it'll probably take, I don't know how long, 6 to 12 months, maybe more, to build this website out. And the problem is it hasn't been tested in the market. So you're building it on your imagination, of what this customer that you don't even know if they exist. It's a brand new product. It doesn't really exist in the market. So it's not like it's not like an electrician or a plumber where people know, oh wow, the tap doesn't work, I call the plumber. This is brand new. People don't know to even look for it. It doesn't exist. And you're going to spend all this money, and you're going to build this thing, and it might be wrong. Like, in fact, it's almost entirely likely that a fair portion of all your design decisions will be wrong, and that the market won't use them in the way that that you intended them to use it, and who knows what else. But you won't know which part, because you spent all this time building this big, magical, wonderful website, and while you're doing that, creating these products that sit within the website and thinking of every possible configuration and every color and shade and what not that it could possibly be, and you don't know whether you've got what they call product market fit, right? Is there even an audience for this product? Will they pay money for it? So we spent a good, hour and a half, 2 hours, I think, working through all of this. And what we ended up landing on was, I was like, well, first things first, you don't even know if there's an audience for this product. So how can we find out whether there's an audience? Well, you don't need a $100,000 website. You don't need even a product. All you need to know, our first step is, can you put an ad in front of the person, the types of people that you think will be your target audience, and get someone to click on that ad? Because if you can't do that, then forget about all the other ways that website or that business could have failed. No one's interested in your product. And then we sort of worked that out, and then and we sort of kept going through. Okay, if they can click on an ad, then what do you serve them? Well, you can serve them a simple page, one single page with that one product that you put in that ad, and you could put a big buy now button on there. And if they click on that buy now button, you don't even need to sell it to them. You can just put a message up that says, "Sorry, we're currently out of stock. Enter your email address, and we'll let you know once we're back in stock." And you might be thinking, as she did, well, hold on, that's going to annoy my potential market. But you only need to test that on 100 or 200 people. Like, if you're launching this business, but theoretically it's only going to be successful if you've got thousands and thousands or millions or whatever it is of people who will be in the market for this product, who can potentially be a customer of yours. So if you can get 200 people to click on an ad, and 20 of those people click that buy now button and cause that pop-up, you've got an audience. And of course, if you can't get anyone to click on that ad, well, you can change that ad, and you can iterate, and you can create different versions of that ad until somebody clicks on it, right? And then you've solved the problem. The first problem, one problem at a time, which is, okay, I know I've got someone to click on it. Next problem is, will somebody click buy? Awesome. Then from there, maybe you can create like 10 versions of this product, or 100. You can go out and you can work out, you can make those design decisions about what's the packaging look like, what goes into it, how's it going to be sent, go and speak to all the various manufacturers that you need to put this together, or whatever's going into your business. And you can say, okay, great, now we've got a product, I've got 100 of them. Can I sell 100 of them? Can I sell them for cost price? Because then you take the price out of the equation. You don't need to make money off the first sales, but we can just, spin it any way you want. It's like, okay, cool, that's great. I've sold 10 at this price. What if I triple that price? What if I put that price up to a crazy level? How high can I put this price up before people stop buying it? What if I put up a big price and then, discount it or something? Like, you can play around with all these different elements. Okay, great, now I've got a product. Now what if I put the second product on there? Can I put 8 variations? How many do I need? And I guess I don't need to go through every iteration, but if you step your way through solving one problem at a time, then the next problem, then the next problem, then hopefully by the time you get to building your big custom website, you will have answered a whole lot of things along the way. And if you even need to pull that $100,000 out of your bank account or whatever that might be to invest in this you can do it, big idea. You can do it with some degree of confidence that, hey, I know once I've built this website, I have an ad that people will click on. I have a product that people want to buy at a price point that people are willing to pay for it. I've worked out how to ship 100 of these things, you know, and then maybe you've been able to then test, you know, 1,000 of these. This particular idea also had a little bit of, you know, she needed some partners on board. So again, like you rock up, you know, with all due respect, everyone has you know, a crazy business idea over dinner, but you rock up to some big established business and you say, oh, I need you to be a business partner. I've got this great idea, you know, but I don't have a website. I've never sold one of these things. They're just going to laugh at you, right? Like you'd be lucky to even get a conversation with them. But if you can rock up and say, okay, I'm bringing this thing to market. We've done a series of tests now to prove we've established the size of the market. I know I've got ads that can work. We've created these dummy products. We've sold 100 of them. Now I need you to partner with us to be able to do this or that. We're now going to put $100,000 of our own money towards this idea and bringing it to market. You know, and our plans over the next 5 years are X, Y, and Z. You might just get someone to be interested in that and bring them along. And you know, more to the point, you've saved that money. Like if you can't get to that point, you've saved that money. You haven't blown your hard-earned savings. So yeah, I don't know how hopefully I've done a good job of articulating that to you. It's a really, I mean, that was an interesting case, but it is a methodology that we use all the time. Like I've seen, you know, we once were a HubSpot partner. We used to see all the time people coming to us going, oh, we've invested in HubSpot and we've built this massive mind map outlining all this marketing automation and email sequences and all these things that are going to go out. And you'd never, like, you know, there might be I saw one, I think it was had 40 different triggers to trigger all these different emails, and if the user does this, then that, and then this will happen, and if they do this other thing, then this other thing will happen. And you know, you look at it and you just go, there's so many potential breakpoints, so many potential failure points in that process. It can't possibly work. And by the time you get all the way through all these if statements to this, there's only going to be one person left you possibly could convert, and you've made it far too complex. And you know, I've seen, I don't know, maybe 100, or I could probably say hundreds, but you know, maybe 100 or so of these, you know, in that scenario of these sort of, you know, marketing automation accounts where it's just, you've started too complex. You've got to start simple with as few failure points as you possibly can. Test something, confirm that it works on the 1 or 2 metrics that you need to make it work. Can somebody click? Okay, great, we've got some clicks. Now, will somebody prepared to buy? At what price are they prepared to buy? Which products mix, you know, best? I heard something today actually talking about e-commerce stores, which is really tough. Yeah, like it can be very, very hard to put paid ads to an e-commerce store and actually still maintain any margins. About finding one specific product that you can make a really big margin on and sell at a really good rate and use just that in your advertising. And then once somebody buys that one product that you know you can take to the bank, you know you can make a really good return on ad spend off, then you use your other marketing, you know, or, you know, you upsell, or you use post-purchase email, or a bunch of these other sort of tactics to then get them to come back and be a customer again and again. And then you're obviously your return on ad spend then just increases and increases every purchase. So yeah, I thought that was a really cool idea. But it's that idea of just keep your target small, and then once you've hit that target, move it to the next stage and the next stage, and step your way through towards ultimate success. And I think so often, particularly you know, when we're starting up a business, you know, we look at more established businesses. We look at businesses that have been around for 8, 20, 30, 100 years, whatever it is, right? Sophisticated businesses with sophisticated marketing programs, sophisticated advertising programs, and we try to replicate that. And we try to do everything all at once, and we try to go right to the finish line, and it just doesn't work. We haven't, I mean, certainly you can learn from competitors, but I think, yeah, keeping that target small and yeah, securing that win, and then iterate on that, build upon that one win to, okay, what's the next phase, and the next phase, and the next phase. And I think I said in yesterday's episode that what did I say in yesterday's episode? That advertising and marketing is never harder than that first month or that first week. Like it gets, you've got nothing built up. Good communications. I keep saying sort of marketing and that. Really, what I'm talking about is advertising and communications. Yeah, but good communications programs, they work by multiple channels working together, with a certain flow. And when people talk about funnels, you've got to have your funnels, the right order of offers promoted to the right person at the right time through the right channels, different channels working on top of things, people being exposed to your brand in one channel and then taking action on another. Like, that's what works, but you can't go all in at the start. You've got to take the small wins and then iterate and then iterate and iterate. And if you're doing that, you should be locking away. Okay, this works. I know it works. It works 100% of the time, or close enough to it, right? Like, I can take it to the bank that this is going to keep working. Now, how do I build upon that? Next one. So, I probably talked all around that a little bit. Hopefully you followed me this far, but I think it's a good methodology, and certainly, I've seen so many startup businesses with really passionate owners, unfortunately, not make it. I mean, what do they say? 80% of businesses fail in the first 4 years. And of those 20% that do make it past the first 4 years, 80% of them fail in the next 4 years, and it probably continues on much that same pace. Yeah. So, sadly, if you're starting a small business, the odds are stacked against you. So this, I believe, is a really, really good approach, a really good tactic to make sure that you have a chance to be in that 20% and that you can survive. And if not, that it will actually uncover the fact that this isn't a viable business long before you've taken those savings out of your bank account and flushed them down the toilet. Yeah. So anyway, hopefully that's cool. I'm really stoked that already. I know some of you have watched the first episode. Hopefully you'll continue to follow me on this journey. I will get better at this, I hope. Please leave comments. I'd love to hear what you think of this, if you found it useful, if you've got ideas for other topics. And otherwise, if you have and you love it, please share it. I really want to get people on board, whatever platform you're watching this on now. At the moment, this is streaming. So what I'm doing is I'm recording them 1 day in advance, and then setting them to stream out live, or to live stream, I guess, as a pre-recorded live stream, if that's a thing, to the various platforms the following day. So recording this now on Monday night, so Tuesday afternoon, this will stream out to YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, so Bizwisdom Agency, if you search for Bizwisdom Agency on any of these platforms, so YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. I will at some point find a way to get some portion of this or some clips onto TikTok and Instagram as well. So again, if anybody's got some suggestions on great ways to do that, I'd love to hear them. I think there is some streaming functionality that's getting rolled out to Instagram, but I don't have access to that yet. I think it's only select users that do. I'm not so sure about TikTok, so I might have to cut these down into bite-sized bits to get them on those platforms. So, so anyway, keep an eye out for them. It's now up on Apple Podcasts, so and Spotify and Audible and everywhere else that good podcasts can be downloaded. So if you like audio, then do please subscribe there. And I guess the message is, wherever you've discovered this today, you should be able to find it on whatever platform you would like. And thanks for tuning in. 2 days, 2 episodes down. Hopefully I can keep this going for a little bit longer. And hope you found this useful, and thanks for joining me.